And I couldn't have done anything without you guys, brother. Boo! Oh, how awesome was that? That was
Oh my
unreal.
god. Like, it's just insane that he just won't, like, just give
Just
it a
let him
rest at this
go.
point.
Give
Just
it up,
let
dude.
it
My
go,
God.
dude. It's just like, um, I saw a clip of somebody else talking about this, but they were like, it's not even the fact that whatever you go out there to sell your beer or whatever. It's the fact that you then start going like, and it's because of you guys, bro. And it's just like, stop, just stop. Like, dude, go out there, be like, buy the American beer, brother, thanks, and like walk out. Like, don't
Yeah.
pretend that. Oh my god, it's just crazy.
Yeah. It
And he's
was
just like, what did I ever do? What did I ever do?
dude, I'll tell you, like, and a lot of people were like talking about why everybody was booing him, whether if it was like for his um political stuff or whatever. I just think people are sick of him and are like, yeah, there's like a dozen reasons like
I think it's a
why
combination. Yeah, it's a
he's
combination of
not
everything.
very good person.
It's like,
and no one cares
he's
about him anymore.
he's like a racist, like on record. Like, he's like racist on record. Um, yeah, like he has his political ties. He has the fact that he's done just as much to hurt the business, if not more, as he's done to help it. It's the fact that he won't give it a rest. It's everything.
I think one of the things that
It's
annoys
the
me the
fact that
most,
he just pretends that he's never done anything wrong.
dude, and like one of the things that's like really annoying, and they said it on commentary too, but like he acts like WWE would not exist without him. And like
I know, it's crazy.
I understand like a lot of they were going through some tough times and like he was kind of there, but like they would have still been around. So we're gonna talk about what happened on Raw is Netflix.
There would have been a different guy. Like, I promise you. If it wasn't Hulk
Yeah.
Hogan, they would have found someone else.
There was
Just
a
saying.
bunch of
Like,
different
it's not
guys
like
that it could have been. It's
he
crazy.
might have been more successful if they put different guys in that position.
It could have. And like obviously there's a lot of stuff like that is talked about him being like a horrible worker too at his time with like WWE with like not wanting to put guys over and like treating talent terribly and all of that stuff and just being in business for himself. So I don't know. I hope this was a big lesson for WWE to just like keep him off of our screen. And like
Yeah.
I will say it was crazy because usually they will like pump in or like turn the sound down for like when they boo him because they booed him in the past. At like I know we went to Raw as 30, and like we were like booing him a lot, but it really didn't come across on television. I think that was Raw as 30, but we were there, and they usually will turn it down or like try to like put in like a cheer track, and like they did not.
Yeah.
Which is
They
like
just let it
good
go.
to see. They did not really mess with the crowd noise, which I think was one of the big positives for them being on Netflix, especially with the
that was
curses
one of
and
the
stuff.
biggest things right off the bat you noticed.
Yeah.
One of the biggest things right off the bat was we got the "fuck you" solo chant, which was like right away. It was like, oh, all right, here we go. That's what it's like, and that's what we mean by like on my end to where it's like that's like mainly where the cursing and stuff really should come from is what I
Yeah.
mean, crowd chants and stuff like that. Like it's like we said before, if you're dropping like f bombs every promo, they lose their essence, they lose the power behind them. So, but yeah, man, I mean, we kicked it off, Mark, with a great video package. Literally, almost moved me to tears, man. That video
It was
package
awesome.
was insanely
It
awesome.
was awesome.
And then like I was just watching it and I was just like, man, dude, I just fucking love wrestling, dude. Like I'm just like I was essentially like I was watching it and I was like, I'm just so happy to like be a part of this and be like immersed in this culture and just like
Yeah.
because it's like it's not something that you can just like, I don't know, the way that we are into it and like so many other fans are into it, and tons of people that watch with us, like the way that we're into wrestling. It's not something that just happens like overnight. It's like maybe you fall in love with it overnight, but we're deep in the trenches at this point of putting in work of becoming what I would say a wrestling aficionado.
Oh yeah.
So it was just cool watching that, and you're like, damn, I'm like, you feel very a part of it, I guess. And then, we had the great Triple H started out declaring it the Netflix era. And then, of course, none other than
Shoulda
Dwayne
known.
Johnson.
Should have known.
What better way to kick off the new era of WWE than throwing in the 50-whatever-year-old Rock?
Protect kayfabe.
Yeah, seriously, man. Gives a incredibly confusing promo. And
God.
then, yeah, I mean, we could talk for so long about everything that's wrong and annoying about The Rock. First, it's just like, one, you're just, I don't like how The Rock just does whatever he wants, and then
Oh yeah.
when people disagree with it or say it's bad, he's like, you guys are idiots. And it's just like, no, you're just like, you know what I mean? It's just like, he's like, oh, I should go out there to kick off Raw, start a promo going into and then he's like, but also he's like, we should do it so that I make it seem like I'm kind of a baby face again and all this other, and it's just like, and he's like, but the next night on NXT, he's like, people are upset about it, and he's like, shut your mouth and enjoy the ride.
Yeah,
NXT
like what do you mean?
gives
Like
the
obviously
worst
we are
promo
upset
of all time. Like
obviously we are upset because you just like were kicking the crap out of our favorite wrestler for the past however many months, and then you just come out and then you act like nothing ever happened. Like what are we doing? Like
yeah,
and it's like it was a 50. We did not get the first match until like a half hour in the show, which is like whatever. But it's like The Rock did not need to do that. Like everything he did, Triple H just did before him. Or if you want to have somebody do that, have John Cena like come out and do that. He's a better face to it was just so annoying. Like
it should have been Cena.
15 minutes on
Cena,
that
dude.
bullshit. Like what are we doing?
It definitely should have been Cena.
And then you're just gonna like break kayfabe like that and be like, "Congrats, Cody! Like I just made your life live in hell a few months ago, but congrats, you've been carrying this company on your back."
Gonna do
like what?
Like
What
based
are we
on
doing?
everything that he did do, like all he should have done if he like insisted on fucking doing anything is he should have just came out after the Roman and Solo match and then put the Ula follow on Roman. And like, that's it. That's all he should have done. If he was going to do anything.
Agreed.
And it's like, and also it's like, and if this is all to set up that you're not going to be at Mania,
Which
you
is what I
don't
think
need
it did.
to. I know, but it's like, you don't need to. Just don't show up. And then
Yeah.
you're not going to be at Mania. It's like, you don't have to be like, but all the people are waiting on me. And it's like, no, we're not waiting because we're like, oh my God, I can't wait to see if he... We're like, we're trying to figure out what we think the plans are going to be. We're trying to have some fun, fantasy book it like fans do. And you're just like this giant fucking obstacle that just can shove himself into the main event if he would like at any point that we have to keep in consideration. It's like,
Dude, and
insane.
I hate how, and like you said, one of the things that's like the most frustrating is that like he can kind of just go out there for however long he wants and say however long he wants. Dude, like I don't like if that was anybody, and like obviously like he's on the board of directors, like okay, I get he's higher up, but it's like, dude, it's just like annoying. Like I don't know, why do you get to go out there and curse and say whatever you want? And
exactly,
it's just like,
yeah. And it's just like,
what are
he
you
just
better
does
than
it.
everybody else? Like
Yeah, essentially.
like-
It's like,
damn, man. And then even like on NXT, It was like, first of all, Oba winning the NXT title should have been the main event. They obviously had it. They had it planned with him and Julia at the end with the confetti to be the main event, and it's like, all right, what are we doing here? He took up 15 minutes of the show at the end. The Rock did, and he said a whole lot of nothing.
Of all time,
whole lot of nothing.
Like whatever that was, it was so
it was nothing.
Bad.
He said nothing. He should have put over somebody. Like, Oba should have just came out and attacked him. If he cared about the business, if he cared about the wrestlers, he would have had someone come out there. Should have been Oba to come out there and just beat the piss out of him. But he doesn't. Because he goes out there, he says, I want to come to NXT. I'm in town. Oh, okay. We can have you come cut a promo. All right, I don't know what I'm going to say, but I'll figure it out once I'm out there. He goes out there. I swear from the time his music hit to the time he almost said his first word, it was 7 minutes. Like, it was insane.
No, it was so long. And
he didn't say a word until there was like 3 minutes left. And you're like, dude, you have 3 minutes. And then it's just like he cursed like 5 times. He cursed 5 times.
And that was, that was on television.
That's on NXT.
So it's like, if you were going to curse, if you were going to curse, why not just do it the night before?
Yeah.
On Netflix.
Like, and it's just like, you don't need to do that. He like didn't need to curse. Like, it was just like, instead of just saying like, God damn, just be like, wow. Like, I don't know. You just don't need to do that.
It's like,
because you can.
Like he did it because he didn't know what to say. Like,
I know.
Like, literally, and it's just like.
It's insane. Oh, and guess what? Enough of the chills. We get it.
Like, I don't think obviously he doesn't
like, dude, like.
Obviously he doesn't realize it, but he just doesn't realize that he is just like not that cool anymore. It's just like so insane. I'm just like, how can he not recognize it at all?
I think he just looks at like a broad view of everybody. He goes out there, he gets a big cheer. It's like, well, yeah, like if you're in the crowd and you see The Rock, like most people are going to cheer, but like the hardcore fans that are like in the trenches of this, like we're tired of it. Like we don't care. Like they're just like not in touch with the wrestling fans. Like I don't know. It was crazy.
If if The Rock is so insistent on sticking around, then dude, you know what? The other thing in me is like, part of me thinks that he's pushing off the match with Roman because he knows that's his last match, and he just doesn't want to like call it quits yet. And it's just like, does that make any sense? Like, not even like, and it's like, if he wants to he can wrestle Roman and then keep wrestling. Like, if he wants to, he will.
But that does feel like
that sort of thing,
like the end.
Yeah, like it's like, it just like story wise, it feels like the respect. It seems like he probably wants to go out that way. So it's like, part of me is like, I think he came back and he's like, oh, I'm awesome. Look how awesome I am again. I didn't realize I would be the best heel in the whole fucking business.
Yeah.
And then, so now he doesn't want to make it a one-off Roman retirement match anymore and wants to stick around and see what else can happen. Like, part of me thinks that's kind of what it is. And like on a Triple H level, essentially, like, I think in Triple H's view, he's also like, as annoying as it is, I think for him, like as a storyteller, he's like, if The Rock's gonna retire, in my like, Triple H is the one who gets to essentially craft that story with The Rock, and it's like, in Triple H's eyes, he's like, I'm not just gonna be willing and I would say it seems, I would be incredibly shocked, not super annoyed with The Rock, and just like doesn't really like him at this point in their relation. Him coming back has thrown a wrench in.
Yeah,
but it seems like in the eye of Triple H, it would be like, if Triple H is going to be the one booking the Rock retirement match, Triple H knows it has to be Roman, and he's like, if we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it properly. So I'm not gonna book you. I'm not gonna put Rock and Roman against each other until The Rock is done. Because if Roman beats The Rock and then The Rock keeps wrestling, it was like essentially kind of stupid.
Yeah, like I don't think he's gonna do anything that's not Roman Reigns related.
Potentially Cody.
Yeah. I don't know.
But
I'm just kind of like, I don't really care. Like, I'm over everything with like, is The Rock gonna wrestle
yeah,
Roman? Is he gonna wrestle
going.
Cody? Like, I just don't even care anymore. I'm tired of like trying to waste my brain space trying to think about what they're gonna do. Like, and this was clearly to me like him just being like, I'm not gonna be at WrestleMania 41 because um just like the way he just went out there, just acted like the past year didn't happen.
Yeah.
And like some stuff is fine. Like you can go out there and like kind of be the on the board of directors, Rock, final boss, whatever, and then you can also still just like dunk on Cody, in like the process. But it's like I don't know, you can't like just don't go out there and act like this year didn't just happen, and then after the show you're sitting there drinking your tequila with Cody Rhodes and you're acting like
Bro,
you
he
didn't
just
just
acts
torture
like
the
he's the
guy.
fucking yeah. He just acts
He's
like
not.
he's
He
like the
sucks.
god of WWE, and it's so annoying. Like,
It sucks. He brings nothing. Like maybe he can bring in like older fans who stopped watching and they're like, "Oh, The Rock." Like, yeah, sure, but like I don't know. He really I don't think he brings much to
that's
the
what I
table.
mean. It's like
His
these like
promos aren't good.
like the younger casual like viewer, like Logan Paul's bringing in way more like younger casual viewers than The Rock,
Yeah.
and it's like those are the ones you really want are the younger ones. So
Yeah.
it's like I don't know. I'm just like even from that perspective, it's like he at this point it's like half the people have lost the nostalgia. People are like big fans that are like whatever. I'm out on this. And then the other people that he thinks care way more than they actually do.
Yeah. It's insanely annoying. Like, I don't know. When do you think we'll see him next?
I don't even know, man. I don't know. I really don't know. Like I have no idea.
Yeah.
Especially
Maybe not
after
this
that.
year.
Yeah. But it's like also
Hopefully.
like it's like it seems like on NXT he was like it seemed like he was like well everyone's saying I shut the door so I got to make sure that they know I didn't fully shut the door. You know what I mean? Like and it's just like no.
Yeah.
We don't. We don't need to know.
Yeah.
Just go away.
Yeah.
Like that's
Like
like just be off our screen.
yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It sucks. He sucks. But what what you think about the mat with the sponsors on it? Because I liked it. And we
Yeah,
got new
I actually
referee shirts.
yeah, actually oh yeah, the referee search are nice. I don't mind the sponsors on the mat really. It's like whatever. I think I would prefer it without it always, but um yeah, it's W Fortnite in the chat for Billy and Purple and no cap though. Um it looks so much better on the ads look so much better on black canvas. Like
Yeah.
so much better. It's insane. I hope they do that for PLEs.
They probably will.
Like the black instead of the yeah. And the blue for SmackDown is sick too.
Yeah, blue's great.
So but yeah, the black makes I was thinking for a second too. I was like, I hope they don't do red because red would have been too
Red
much.
with the sponsors would
but-
have been not okay.
No, yeah, I was like, I really don't want them to do it, but I think black's perfect. I
Yeah.
think and it looks like more professional in a way.
I think I
like-
think it gives it more of like a sports feel too, to have the refs in black, to have the
Yeah,
sponsors on the
agreed.
mat. Like it gives it more of like the UFC, like a combat sports feel to it. So
Yeah, and I think that's probably what I'm sure that's where like a ton of ideas are coming from. Just as somebody who like works in marketing, I think that like I would assume being that like their WWE and UFC are under the same company now that the higher ups are probably trying to merge those fan bases as much as possible.
yeah.
You would assume.
Yeah.
And I mean, things point in that direction. Obviously, with the sponsors on the ring mat and stuff, and that more of that sports feel. And like you said, with the refs, they kind of that's I didn't even think about it in from that way that they really do look a lot like the UFC refs. So it's like I
Yeah.
think they're probably trying to have somewhat of a brand continuity like that across WWE and UFC.
And they like did more stat stuff throughout the show. Like I don't know if you ever kind of picked up on it, but like they had like wrestler stats a little more. Like they had a graphic of like Jey Uso of like how many televised wins that he had last year, and like he was like
Oh,
number
hell
like
yeah.
8 or 9. Like they had like little stuff like that, which I thought was a good detail. Um, so yeah, what'd you think about the show overall? 3 hours.
Man, 3 hour show didn't need to be 3 hours.
Well, that's because the first 30 minutes were
Yeah.
nonsense.
But overall, so for me, I really didn't need the Taker part. I love Taker. I know Billy, Taker's your guy. Love the Undertaker. I didn't need The Rock, The Undertaker, Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
It's just like felt really weird to be like, this is the new era, and then have 3 nostalgia acts come back that night. Like, it was
Yeah.
bit of an oxymoron. So, but one of the things I wanted to, it was like, yeah, and it's not even a dig on Taker. I'm more like, I bet Taker was like, I get, like, I'll do it. I don't know, like, it doesn't really seem like, in my head, like, honestly, I was like, in a perfect world, I think like Taker, I think that Mania spot was like the last time we see Taker in like a ring character, somewhat scenario,
probably.
in my opinion. Like,
Probably.
in an ideal world, that would have been it. And now you just have like this random moment where it's like, love Rhea too, but like nobody's ever been like, Rhea is like Taker, like,
And like American Badass
the-
Undertaker too.
But like I said, the matches themselves were good. Um, um, yeah, dude. If the money's right, he probably does. But I feel like the one thing that really annoyed me was commercials during matches.
Ha!
I'm just
Joke's
like,
on you. Clowning me for getting the ad tier of Netflix. I didn't get a single ad. We all watch the same commercials.
yeah, well, screw you, pal. You know what? I think they're gonna find something along the line that gives them. I think they're gonna do something somewhere down the line that gives the ad-free tier like something that the ad tier doesn't have.
Okay.
Like what? Just like something small, like whether it be like I said, whether they like only do commercials during the. But also it's
The
like
break. Those
yeah,
commercials felt longer too, did they not?
yeah. Like I felt like
They
we
felt
had more
long.
commercials.
I think it felt like we had less, but they were longer.
Maybe.
Like I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't. They just felt really long to me.
I'm with you. It was way more than I expected. Like I knew there was going to be commercials. I expected there to be at least a little bit less. Like there
I
definitely
didn't think there would
wasn't
be
even.
like full on commercials. I thought they would do a lot of picture in picture stuff, or like
Yeah,
let's take a
same.
moment to hear from our sponsor.
Did they even do any picture-in-picture stuff?
I think they did.
Maybe.
I
But it
could
was like
be
not as much as
mistaken.
they did before, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, and the other thing I wanted to bring up was, well, obviously I want to bring up all the matches, but let's get into the first match, which was Roman versus Solo. we had the battle for the Ulafala for the tribal chief. Me and you, I think, both predicted Solo to win this match. Is that correct?
Yes.
So
Actually, did we do full predictions last week?
I think we gave like a small, I think we did. We gave our predictions, but I don't think it was like a full on
unofficial predictions.
Yeah, it was like an unofficial.
Title's not on the line.
So yeah, not that I'm shocked by any means that Roman did come out on top with this. It's just like, where do they go with it now?
Yeah,
it's like gotta be, like, I guess Solo versus Jacob. Like maybe down the line, like maybe they'll now turn Jacob on Solo. And then maybe we get like Solo versus Jacob at Mania or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's tough. Part of me feels like they're not going to be done with Solo versus Roman.
Yeah, maybe not.
Because I can easily see them like milking this for a little longer.
I'm with you. They totally, absolutely could. It just felt like a definitive win. Like, it's like, what do you...
Yeah, especially when they lost at War Games.
Yeah, it's like the Ulafala is on his neck.
I don't know what else Solo would want.
Yeah, it's like he
Roman.
doesn't have it anymore. Like Roman has it now.
He lost fair and square. Beat him a couple times.
So like, yeah, I'm just like, where do you think Roman goes from here, man? Like, where do you think this all goes? If it's not to Roman and Solo, like, who do you think Roman Reigns is wrestling at WrestleMania?
So I'll tell you this. I feel like, and I don't know, Punk, probably.
You think?
I mean, he's got that favor with Paul. When's that going to come into play? But maybe I don't know, because then they could easily have Punk and Seth go until WrestleMania, which I hope they do, because they need to give it a good feud. But I don't know, to me, Punk versus Seth, I had it gave me that feeling of this is done. I don't know, and we'll talk about that once we get to that match a little down the line. But I could easily see them going to Punk versus Roman. If not Punk, then they can run it back with Cody.
Yeah. Maybe they run it back with Cody. I like Roman versus Drew.
Roman versus Drew would be a lot of fun.
I like that. And then Drew finally beating Roman.
For the Ulafala.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm just
that's what it's tough.
So like I said, maybe I'm thinking from a place where I'm a little bit of wishful thinking, because I really want them to bring Punk and Seth to Mania. But I just don't see how that can be the end of Punk and Seth.
Okay.
Chat, what do you guys think? Let us know. Do you guys think that the Punk and Seth feud is going to continue, or do you think that they're going to move on to a different feud now? So my big thing was that match was just weird to me. The Seth and Punk match. And it wasn't bad or anything. It was a good match.
It was a great match.
Yeah, it was very good. It was just weird, because in the way it was it felt like Seth Rollins definitively kicked the shit out of Punk, honestly.
Yeah.
And then Punk just no-sold a superplex and hit 2 GTSs and won. It was...
Yeah.
That's why I'm how can it... it doesn't even... I'm saying, when they were telling Seth that he had to go do that, he was probably so fucking mad. Maybe they were the only way... Maybe Seth was the only way I will take a loss if you let me beat the hell out of him for the beginning. I don't know. As far as the story is concerned, I don't know what... this match put it in such a weird spot. they easily could have advanced the story like so much more.
They didn't even do what you said that they should have done. Like Seth's temper didn't get the best of him.
Yeah, it was
like I don't know, and like
just,
I don't know if they tried to do that, and like when he went for the superplex into the Falcon's arrow, like I don't know. I feel like he hasn't hit that move in a while, so maybe he was like tried to dig deep into his bag. I feel like I haven't seen him hit it in a while.
The more I was thinking about it, I do think it seemed like the announcers were trying to play on it a little bit, that like Seth was essentially just like giving Punk a ton of time between stuff. Like he was like, Seth would hit a move and then like get angry that it didn't like work a little bit, but it like wasn't like
I didn't notice that at all.
Not like
the
angry. It was more just like he was like putting so much like thought behind every move. I think like he wasn't angry enough. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like maybe he was like, I feel like he wrestled kind of how he always wrestles.
Seth?
Which is an awesome thing. Like Seth is, in my opinion, if like top tier, you know what I mean? So like, but I thought we were gonna see like less wrestling and more just like pure aggression. But even with that, he still like kicked the shit out of him. Like it's like it wasn't.
He like very clearly like won the match. Like he just beat the shit out of him for like
that's
pretty much the entire match.
That's why I'm like, that's what worries me, that you might be right and they might be moving on with it. But I'm just like,
that would suck. I would be so mad. I would never forgive them if that's the end of the feud.
It can't be, dude. I mean, you can't have Drunk go the way it did and then not have Seth and Punk go 3.
Yeah.
It's insane.
I agree.
Especially after the Chris Van Vliet podcast just dropped with Seth. Did you watch it?
I listened to some of it. I still got to finish it.
Did you hear him talking about Punk?
No.
We got like a lot more clarity on like Seth's beef with Punk.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Like,
hell yeah.
And he even said it, like, he even said on the pod, because it was like they did this interview after the last promo, but before the match on Raw.
Yep. Okay.
So like all 3 promos had happened.
Yeah.
And Seth even said something like along the lines of he doesn't even think he. Yeah, it was such a great watch. Seth's a man, in my opinion. Like I fucking love Punk too. I literally just bought a Punk shirt. But Seth was like he gave a lot more clarity into like his reasoning behind Punk, where he was essentially like Punk was in a position in his life. He had been top of the card. He was making a lot of money. He was able to walk away and like be okay. And like he was like, didn't have that luck. Like I couldn't just walk away. Like it wasn't a thing I could just do. And Seth was like essentially like he made his. Seth said that Punk essentially like made his friends choose between like the company and like you either quit or like we're not like. And Seth was like, well, that's like wild. Like I don't want to do that. So it's like, and then there's 2 sides to every story, obviously, but it's like also, as much as I love CM Punk, famously huge asshole. So it's like not like it's not like Punk is known for being. It's not like Punk is known for being like the nicest guy. So but he gave like some more like clarity behind it. But then he also said he was like, I don't feel like. He said he feels like he didn't even articulate it the best way, like in the promo. He was like, because people don't understand that it was just like mentor mentee, like I really like had like a friend and mentor in this guy, and then he was just like fuck you, whatever. And I was like, wait, what? Like, um, and yeah, like I said, two sides to every story. I'm sure Punk has his own. Um, I mean, but even with that, I will say, whenever there's like a beef with Punk, Punk usually keeps it pretty real, like on like what has occurred, and like if he has no problem with him looking like an asshole. Like Punk has made that very clear. Like
Yeah.
so, it feels like after watching the it seems like nothing was like he didn't say anything like super crazy about Punk. Everything was doesn't seem like but yeah, like you said, I just think it's like, bro, there's just so much there. Dude, it can't.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's like, but I don't know. So, because I was trying to figure out, like, where does Seth go from here?
That's why I'm like, I think he's Punk. Like, so I this like.
We have lost Dylan. But yeah, so like that's kind of the thing where it's like, I just don't know what is going to happen with Seth Rollins, because me and Dylan were kind of like talking about where Seth goes from here, and it's like, I don't know, maybe he still goes after Punk, but Seth throwing a temper tantrum and having him lose because he lost like fair and square to Punk like in the match, like I think that's a bad look. And like that's the other thing, like if they're trying to have it where Seth lost his temper, A, the match didn't end like that. B, they did a terrible job at painting the picture like that during the match because it just clearly did not happen. Like Seth was very, like, yeah, he was getting frustrated and stuff, but he was very composed during the match. He never threw like a temper tantrum. He never let his emotions get like the best of him. Like he went to hit the superplex into the Falcon's Arrow, and then he no-sold the superplex. Then Punk reversed into the GTS. So yeah, I don't know. It's just like that's the biggest thing. It's like it's gonna be very important to see how they handle Seth Rollins right now on this next episode of Monday Night Raw.
Maybe they let
week.
it like become a thing where it like drives him like crazy, and they let him kind of go like heelish basically with it.
I think that's like the only way they have to go if they're going back to Punk and Seth. Like I feel like Seth has to kind of turn heel or at least do heel things. But then the other problem is
because that's the
like,
thing where it's like I was talking about that with you. It's like Seth is never gonna be a proper heel again. Like he just never will. Like
that's the problem,
no matter what.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's a problem in this feud. Like
it's not. But it's like I just don't know how they get like I don't know. It just seems like the only way for Seth to get his match back would be to kind of do heelish things, you know, maybe cut.
Oh no, I'm totally with you.
Promo.
I'm totally with you. I'm just essentially along the lines of like he's not gonna
turn full heel.
It's not gonna turn into a thing to where he's like fuck the fans, fuck like it's not like he's not gonna go heel that way. Like
could Punk turn full heel?
Maybe, but both of them are gonna get cheered. Like that's the thing.
I know that's the problem. That's the problem, and it's like it's fine for them.
But that's why I'm almost to the. That's why I almost think it doesn't matter. Like it's like you can. That's why I'm saying where it's like I think we're on the same page, but I think it's like me and you have the same idea, but I'm on the lines of like, it's where it's like Seth can't do it. Like it's not that he can't. He's like incapable of doing a full-on heel turn because the crowd won't let him. Fans aren't going to let him, no matter what. So it's like, I think they can use that to their advantage, essentially, and just, like, let Seth go full-on heel in this feud. And it's like, one, the fans will never let Seth go actual full on heel to where he's getting like booed out of the building and shit because he's so loved. Two, there is a lot of the other reason it wouldn't be like a full on like normal heel turn is because there's so many fans that agree with Seth and think Seth is in the right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like that's the other part. And then it's also that this story is just so far above heels and it's so far above baby faces that it's like you can have somebody straight up heel things and have somebody do straight up baby face things, and no matter what, neither one of them is going to be the clear heel or baby face.
Yeah. Yeah,
Essentially,
they're both
that's
kind of
what I'm
just like
saying.
tweeners.
Yeah, so it's like it's like it's such a personal rivalry to the point to where it's like people are like just hating one person doesn't make you a bad person. You know what I mean? Doesn't make you an evil person to everybody. So it's like it's not that Seth is going around trashing everybody. It's this specific vendetta on Punk. So it's like I think that's where I'm trying to say that he like essentially just like won't turn full heel is that it's like I think this story I think that was the best way I said it. This story I think is like so far like above just like heels and baby faces that it's like there's so many more layers that it's like no matter what, neither one of them is going to be the clear heel or baby face, you know?
Yeah. So how do you think Seth like gets another match against Punk? Because that's what I'm having a tough time like figuring out.
So my thoughts are we get
Seth cost Punk a match?
yeah. I'm
Maybe
thinking
against
that
Gunther?
I think we either get Punk and Gunther at the Rumble or at like Saturday Night Main Event. And then so in my eyes, it makes sense to do Punk and Gunther at the Rumble, right? And then you have Seth come back and cost Punk because then the other part is like he can. That's also justified because Punk did that to Seth.
Mm-hmm.
Seth, like Punk costed Seth the title already before at Money in
Yeah.
the Bank.
Yeah.
So Seth just coming back to cost Punk the title. That's not even that straight up heel of a thing to do. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? It's like Punk already did it to him. So then that obviously gets Punk like way more back involved because he's all pissed about that. So I think the best way to do it is Punk Gunther at the Rumble, Seth costs him, match 2 at Elimination Chamber, ended at Mania. And I hate to say Hell in a Cell because of Drew and Punk just doing Hell in a Cell,
Mm-hmm.
but I think maybe you do. Like I don't know.
think
It's
they
gotta
will.
be. I don't think they will either. But I'm just like there needs to be a stip.
There'll be a stip. Maybe last man standing.
Yeah, I think Last Man Standing makes a lot of sense actually.
Or
I
3
quit,
stages of hell.
dude. That would be crazy. That's
the love
actually
of
what
God.
they need to do.
Give us the 3 stages of hell. I don't know how many times we got to say it, man. Bring it back. But
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I agree. I think there's probably a more likely chance Gunther versus Punk at Saturday Night's Main Event on the 25th of January because
So I just want to say my reasoning real quick. The only reason I say Raw and not Saturday Night Main Event is because then that will line up for them to go Elimination Chamber Mania for the 2-3. So like
So
my only like yeah, go with what you're gonna say.
So I fully agree and understand that. I just think that there's going to be like maybe max 3 matches at the Royal Rumble outside of the 2 Royal Rumble matches. Like,
Yeah.
so then you already have Cody versus KO for that world title. So I don't know how likely it is they're gonna throw Gunther versus Punk on that card as well. Then you only have like 1 match left tops. And that's if they do 5. They could easily only do 4 matches for that. I think they'll probably do 5, but so it's like I just don't know if they'll have the time to put it on that
Yeah,
when
but
they
you
have
you don't think Gunther's gonna be on the card?
on Rumble.
Yeah.
Probably not.
When's he gonna wrestle next?
Saturday night's main event.
Yeah, but that's not I don't know. I don't like having Gunther off all those PLEs.
Hey, I'm not saying I like it either. I'm just saying I don't know if they're gonna put 2 world
Yeah.
title matches on the same card when like and it's when it's a card like this when
That's
you
not
have
that crazy.
a big stipulation.
It's Royal Rumble. It's a big 4.
Yeah, but I'm just saying because they have so few matches that they're going to have on the card.
Happened last year.
That's my only reason. That's fine. That's my only reason why I think it may happen at main event instead. I hope it happens at the Rumble. It could.
I only say that because then it's like, I think Gunther's gonna wrestle at the Rumble probably.
Okay. I hope he does.
He might. Essentially, the other thing I'm saying with Saturday night's main event, it's like if they do it there, then it's like then you might be in a weird spot to where like the second match could potentially be at Rumble, and you don't want to do that because that'll.
Yeah, I don't think they. I don't think they would do that though.
That's the other thing. They have the benefit of they got to this match so quick with like they only had like a 3 or 4 week build to this match on Raw. So which means now they have the benefit of they can drag out the build for the second match.
Yeah.
If they really want to.
Well, and the other thing is like so Cody's probably not going to wrestle on main event.
At Saturday night main event.
Yeah. So then you're not going to have either of your world champions on this Saturday night's main event card for the men. Like that's like I don't know, like especially when they're broadcasting it on NBC also, like that's kind of the other thing. Is like why I feel like it may be Gunther versus Punk on that because and like we said for this last main event, we wanted something
if I'm
big.
being honest, I feel pretty confident that not confident, but like I have a really good feeling that Gunther might wrestle on both? Because of the Logan Paul thing. Like,
Okay.
I think they might do Logan Paul and Punk.
I could see that.
And I don't think honestly, I wasn't like because I forgot about the Logan Paul thing. Now that I remember about the Logan Paul thing, I think it actually makes a lot of sense for Gunther to have to pull double duty. Because I think both of those things need like I think because Punk was calling out Gunther before. So like before this thing with Seth started. So
A while ago.
that's an obvious next step for like obvious next place for Punk to go. But I don't know. It's just like maybe it makes more sense for them to do Punk and Gunther at Saturday Night Main Event, and then you can have Seth cost it, and then Seth and Punk can both be in the Rumble and just like go crazy at each other in the Rumble. And like
Interesting.
essentially they'll like both lose the Rumble because they're just like worried about fighting each other. Like
Yeah,
that's
so let's
another.
I could see that for sure. I actually like that idea a lot. But let's talk a little bit about the Royal Rumble, Dylan, and specifically the champ, John Cena. So John Cena was on Netflix, or Raw on Netflix, and he basically came out, cut a promo. Great promo. He's just saying how he hasn't won in however thousand many days it was, and was just like, it's not going to happen. I'm not going to win that 17th title. Then everyone was like, shut up, you're going to win the 17th title. Then he was like, it would take a miracle. Like, I don't know, winning the Royal Rumble. And then he kind of had like a light bulb moment. So he officially declared for the Royal Rumble.
He said, maybe I can win the Royal Rumble.
So Is Cena winning the
Great
Rumble
moment.
deal?
Love Cena. So happy he's back, man.
Big time.
Man, it's started, but it's like, it's bittersweet, man. It's awesome to have him back for this final run, but knowing it's the final run is, uh,
Gotta enjoy every
so
moment.
sad. But yeah, so I really like the idea of them doing Randy versus Cody at Mania, and you have Randy win the Rumble by through heel turn on looks like Cena's about to win, but then you get a Randy heel turn on Cena to have Randy win the Rumble. But also a big part of me thinks they're toward Cody versus Cena. And it's gonna either win the Rumble or the Chamber. And I don't think Rumble makes sense. I think Chamber makes more sense for Cena.
I mean, when I think Elimination Chamber, I think of Cena.
Yeah.
I feel like I've watched him wrestle a bunch in the Chamber.
And I'm just like, I think that's what makes the most sense. Because I think the Rumble is much more star making and pushing people up to the next level. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Chamber can do that, but historically, I feel like we've seen veterans win the Elimination Chamber more often rather than the new up and comer. Based on this more recent formula that they've been doing of the Royal Rumble and Elimination Chamber to determine the WrestleMania opponents, which I think is the best formula, and they should absolutely keep this moving forward for as long as possible.
Yeah.
So I saw an AI thing I saw somebody, they asked an AI to make a WrestleMania match card, and they made a fatal 4-way for the World Heavyweight Championship. Gunther versus John Cena versus CM Punk versus Seth Rollins.
Okay.
And it was I forget how exactly we got there, but it was I think it was I forget all the details that AI said, but it was just the thought of it, of just those 4 guys, like you're saying, I was like, that would actually be insane. I don't know how on earth we would get there, but that would just be cool as hell.
Yeah.
I'm like, I would be in on that just because it would be sick.
Yeah.
But I kind of feel like they're gonna do Cena versus Cody, passing of the torch, big baby face. Cody beats Cena. But I think you're running a really risky show there. Putting up the guy you want to be your biggest baby face.
Yeah.
Moving forward, in Cody, who is your biggest baby face currently, putting him up against Cena. When Cena's going for 17, I think it's just I kind of think it's a recipe for disaster. So I kind of hope they're not going that way, but we'll see. I'd much rather have Gunther.
Agreed. Gunther dropping the title?
Not even dropping the title, just
the match
versus Cena.
I agree.
I think Gunther goes over.
Do you think Cena wins number 17 at Mania?
I think he gets it. I don't think he gets it at Mania though.
Okay, I agree. I have an idea.
I think he's.
I think
he's gonna get it. I think he might win Money in the Bank.
That was my idea.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I think he wins Money in the Bank. I think that's so the way I see it playing out, especially after his promo on Monday Night Raw, is
Yeah.
he's gonna keep losing, right? He's gonna lose the Rumble, he's gonna lose the Elimination Chamber, and it's gonna come down to his final opportunity that he can get to get a world title shot, and that last opportunity is gonna be Money in the Bank. So then,
Yeah.
and that's when's Money in the Bank? August, July,
July, I think. Yeah.
July. So then he wins it in the summer, and then he doesn't run in and cash it in. He calls
cashes in
whoever.
main event.
He says, "I want you." He stares him down, declares the match instead of doing like how he did before, to where he just says, "I want you. I'm cashing this in at this day. It's my last opportunity to win number 17." So I like the idea of him winning Money in the Bank. As much as we have said in the past that the Money in the Bank is used to kind of elevate mid-carders, I think you can give it to Cena. I believe this would be his third Money in the Bank, which I believe he would be the only person ever to get 3. So that's another record that he can have. Let him get 17, have him call a
the
shot.
One is weird though because it's like he whatchamacallit. It was like for the titles straight up. You know.
Yeah. But I don't know. So
I mean, I guess it was still the Money in the Bank technically.
it's on the Money in the Bank. It's on the stat sheet. Who is anything else on Raw's Netflix? Liv versus Rhea. Good match. Rhea won, obviously. Didn't need American
it's over.
Badass. Didn't need American Badass Undertaker.
I don't even want to talk about that feud because we've been talking about it for 6 fucking months.
Yeah.
But it's like,
yeah.
yeah,
Let's move
good
on
to have the
from
title
that
back on
feud.
Rhea.
And also, apologies for the kickoff show, the pre-show that we did. We thought there was going to be a tag match. I don't know what happened, if they announced it and then it got cut or what, because it was on Cage
did.
Match. It got cut?
It got cut for time. I looked further into it. That got cut for time, and something else got cut for time.
Fucking rock,
But
dude. That guy
Penta
sucks.
was 100% supposed to debut.
Well, he's debuting on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, against Gable.
Against Gable. Confirmed. 100%. We got the little vignette of it saying Penta. My God. You talk about a first match for Penta. Put him up against Gable. Woo!
Oh,
That's
yeah,
gonna be a
dude.
good
That's
match.
going to be a banger.
Also, I really like the new aesthetic with Raw being on Netflix. Like, they have, like, the moving graphics for, like, everything now. And, like, the full body, like, shots of them doing, like, the matches that are going to take place on Raw. They look super sick as well. Oh, we didn't talk about it last week, but we have a new women's WWE champion. Tiff cashed in. I guess that happened a couple weeks ago.
Oh, my
at this
gosh,
point.
yeah.
But we haven't. This is the
No,
first
it didn't
time.
happen a couple weeks ago.
It was last week.
Yeah.
Okay, because we haven't talked on the pod since it happened, except for the pre-show, which we were just talking about Raw on Netflix.
Yeah, I
But
think we forgot to talk about it on there, but it was a week from like this day last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Big pop.
Tiffany Stratton is your new WWE Women's Champion. Good for her, man. She deserves it. She's going to be, I mean, such a star of this division and of wrestling for the next for many years moving forward. So I'm sure it's going to be the first of many women's championship reigns for Tiffany Stratton, and it's awesome. I'm really excited for her.
So
Nice to get a cash in on SmackDown, in my opinion.
oh yeah, you called it.
Yeah, I
called
did call it. I said
a while
I said-
ago.
I did.
I don't know if you said it
We're
on
gonna
the
have to
pod.
pull
You
that
definitely texted me about it, but you definitely said I think it's going to happen on an episode of SmackDown, and it did.
I was like, I'm just feeling like, they haven't done one on a straight up episode of TV in a while, so felt like it was time.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was awesome. So, what do you think? Nia's going to kind of get a rematch first, or do you think we're getting a new challenger?
Yeah, so I think we probably go to Nia versus Tiff at the Rumble or Saturday night main event or something like that.
Yeah.
And then I think Charlotte comes back and either wins the Rumble or Elimination Chamber. We get tip for Charlotte
At Mania.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that early Mania match prediction. So, you guys let us know your thoughts about everything we talked about in the comments below. Is John Cena win the Royal Rumble? Is he going to get number 17? Who's Tiff facing at WrestleMania? Let us know your thoughts on Raw is Netflix. I think that this coming episode for us, maybe it already happened by the time you're watching or listening to this. I think it's going to be very different from the debut episode. Probably 2.5 hours max. None of the nostalgia bullshit's gonna be there. It's just we're gonna be back to the normal Monday Night Raw. So I'm pretty excited to watch that moving forward. And again, WWE getting all of their library onto Netflix, except for I believe us in the United States. We're the only ones who still have to watch NXT on the CW and SmackDown on the USA Network. But for a ton of other people around the world, they get the entire WWE catalog on Netflix. So enjoy it, and we will get that in the next year or two once their contracts expire with whoever they are for CW and for the USA Network. So that's going to wrap up this episode of the podcast. I'm Mark Izzo. He is Dylan O'Brien, and this has been another episode of the Birding Hammer Podcast. We will catch you next week.